Are we live? Yeah, we're live. Hello. Happy Saturday night. If you love the Warriors, you're stoked because they actually won a game. They almost blew it. Steve Kerr almost cost them the game with more of his inane, asinine substitutions, but they overcome their obtuse head coach. They overcome more nonsensical rotational decisions. Folks, we had a Will Richard sighting. I love this kid. I haven't looked at the box score yet to see if he is deserved of player of the game honors. I'm going to do that right now. But again, a Will Richard sighting, a Draymond Green ejection. Wrong person got ejected. Should have been Steve Kerr, but you're going to live with it. And the Golden State Warriors keep the 2025-2026 season alive. Instead of losing their fourth straight, they snap that 3-game losing streak. Instead of falling 3 games below 500, they're just a game below 500. Games like these are pivotal for reasons I just listed. You're trying to stay alive. You're trying to stay relevant. And the Warriors did just that. Let's break it down. Will Richard, have yourself a night, bud. Damn, did the Warriors score with that pick. Thank goodness. Sooner they get his head coach away from him, the better for his development. Did he lead the team in scoring tonight? No. What did Will Richard? Yeah, third. Will Richard finished with 20 points, third on the team tonight behind Wardell, Steph Curry, who made some huge free throws at the end there to seal this one. Jimmy Butler has 25, I'm sorry. But yeah, let's give those player of the game honors to Will Richard. Welcome back, kid. In just 19 minutes and 15 seconds. Wait, what? Why does my thing keep updating? Yeah, 19 minutes and 15 seconds, 20 points. I'll take it. A Warriors dub. I'll take it. FanDuel. I'll take it. That's what we're powered by. And this program, it's called the Golden Days. Let's go. Happy Saturday night, everybody. Welcome to the program. How's the chat feeling tonight? We doing Igor OT Discovery, I hope I pronounced that right, saying pod sucks. Why is he still closing? Because he's Steve Kerr's illegitimate child? No, probably not. But the love like a child is very much there. And nonetheless, the Warriors won. We're stoked tonight. It's Saturday. Like I said, the last game. When the Warriors lose these frustrating ones that you can pin directly on Steve Kerr, it's cute for a game or two, but when it starts becoming a trend, it ain't fun. And if the Warriors had lost this game tonight, oh boy, would there be sirens playing. It'd be beyond sirens. It'd be like funeral procession music. But alas, that did not happen. Welcome to the program. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz. I'm your host for the evening. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at DogWild, over on Twitter. My handle is at Surf Journalist. The program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. We're brought to you by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Golden Days and the Believe Network. And I'm on their website right now, the FDS Sportsbook. I think that's the actual website name. Is it? Hold on. I can't even see the URL right now. Yeah, it's the sportsbook.fanduel.com is the actual website. But I'm on there not so much to see if the line's going to be available for the Warriors next game. I don't think it is. The Warriors resume action Monday night. But, the line is there. Wait, do the Warriors not play until Christmas? That can't be right. Hold on. I thought there was at least one more game in between now and Christmas. Yeah, they play the Orlando Magic Monday. But the line at home. But the line for the Christmas Day Warriors-Mavericks game is out. So I'll read that to you. The Warriors are favored by 7.5. It's a big spread. So if you're feeling good about Dallas, at least keeping it close on Christmas Day. Side note, we will be live for a Christmas Day episode. Yeah, we're here for your Warriors Jones. But the Warriors, again, courtesy of FanDuel, 7.5-point favorites. If you're feeling good about the road team, about Klay Thompson coming home and pulling off an upset, you can bet Dallas with the money line at plus 235. The OU for that game 227.5. Again, those lines courtesy of FanDuel. And I'm curious to see if there's an update on the wins total. The last time we looked at this was just yesterday with Armando Laura joining the program. That episode currently available on all of our platforms, including YouTube and every major podcast platform. I want to see the wins totals. That's what I'm curious about. I want to see if there's an update on that, because yesterday it was 45.5. And if that line is available, let me just check that real quick. It is not. So even though the Warriors win tonight, they're 14th of the year. They improved to 14-15 on the season, and the bookies currently do not have a line available. So I don't know if it's jumped from 45.5 to 46.5. I have no idea why it is not available right now. But the line for the Mavericks Christmas Day game is, again, that's 7.5. And welcome to all of you. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. If your holidays are fully just revved up and out of the garage and the gas is burning, I hope your holidays are going well as sorry to be so redundant there. Hope your holidays are going well too. As we get set for Christmas week and then New Year's week, and we will be here providing coverage for you for all the holidays. The Warriors do play on New Year's Eve. It's a super early game. We'll have post game for you for there as well. And thanks for being a part of this. And again, the Golden State Warriors winning tonight, a game that looked precarious at times. I on social media and in my notes, the prevalent theme continues that Steve Kerr just does not like playing the best players. Now, with that said, there was at least one silver lining tonight. And it's not going to feel that way if your name is Buddy Hield. But if you follow this team, if you want this team to win, or at a bare minimum, if you just want to watch this team and be entertained, you don't want Buddy Hield minutes. And those minutes have been atrocious all season long. Well, he got a DNP tonight, and he had a crazy long streak going in terms of games not missed. It was some sort of active streak, and I think the 150 game mark. I'll check during tonight's show to see what that exact number is, but that got snapped. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Buddy Hield doesn't play and the Warriors win. Now, what was a little disconcerting was the very end of the game, because the players that gave the Warriors a cushion, a comfortable lead, what does Steve Kerr do at the very end? He pulls them out. And I want to read to you real quickly here. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my phone. I'm sending myself notes that I took at least early in the game, because the first quarter, God damn, this head coach just continues doing crazy shit. But again, they win. Win is good news. But in terms of the end of the game, the frustrating part of all this, and I don't know if you feel me on this or not, is this was a game that the Warriors should have won comfortably. This is a game that should have been over early, mid fourth quarter. This is a game that should have probably never been competitive from the tip if Kerr just stuck to the best players. Now, one thing Steve Kerr did in that fourth quarter, and when the fourth quarter started, the score was 93-87. I feel like that share is high or something. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, Guy Santos made his first appearance of this game in the fourth quarter. Wasn't Steve Kerr saying just a week ago in replying to a question about a Seth Curry DNP that he doesn't bring players in to fourth quarters because they're not warmed up? I can't remember the exact specific verbiage he used for the excuse. But I just, again, when it comes like Steve Kerr, it's no longer even like a joke. He is not
serious people.
And Jay, look, JB. You know me, brother. Thank you. Golden days are you know me too well. Heidi Fall in the chat's asking where was Seth Curry. He was actually out for a legitimate reason tonight. For whatever reason, he has something wrong with his glute. Wait, that's actually your booty, right? Or maybe it's your abdomen. Your gluteus maximus, that's your booty, right? Something's wrong with his glute. And he was listed on the injury report today. I believe is questionable, did not play. So he actually could have, unlike the game where Kerr was called out for a Seth Curry DNP, and his reply was he was available. It just, the fourth quarter rolled around, and I don't throw people out there to start our fourth quarter unless their name is Guy Santos, or just unless he feels like it. Because again, Steve Kerr doesn't do anything that's really rational. But Guy Santos checks into this game at the start of the fourth quarter, and huge surprise, it looked amazing. Will Richard played nearly 20 minutes, and we're going to talk about him in a second. But I want to just remind you folks of the malfeasance that continues going on with this coaching staff. And what I mean by that is with 4 minutes and 7 seconds, the Warriors had a 7-point lead. And the Warriors' biggest lead in this game was 11, which I think was also in that fourth quarter. But the Warriors were doing fine. They had this game under control. Will Richard was in the game. Jimmy Butler was in the game. Trace Jackson Davis was in the game. Played some solid minutes in the interior. Guy Santos was in the game, and Stephen Curry was in the game. And then with just minutes remaining, Kerr takes Guy out for Moses Moody. Kerr takes Will Richard out for Brandon Podziemski. And Kerr took he did one more substitution here. Where was it? And then he took Trace Jackson Davis out for GP2. And again, the Warriors had all the momentum. They were in complete control of this game. And then he makes these substitutions. And again, this is just my observation. Let me know if you think I'm wrong about this. Every time the cameras went to Steve Kerr showing his face, and the rotations were in that were not his favorite, meaning Will Richard, Guy Santos. There was one other player who doesn't typically play and had a really good run tonight. Who was I thinking of? Pat Spencer, who's getting some. Pat Spencer only played 10 minutes, by the way, but those 10 minutes were awesome. He is a clear upgrade over Podziemski. Clear. And all it took was just one game for him to just pull back on the Pat Spencer commitment. Unreal. But when those players are in the game and the team is thriving and the camera cuts to Steve Kerr, he just has the grumpiest look on his face. But if this team has his dudes in there, Podziemski and GP2 chief among them, he's got the biggest shit-eating grin on the planet. Like he just I feel like Kerr cares about at this point is just doing things his way. As long as he's in control, he's happy. Results be damned. That's the vibe I'm getting from this man. This game should not have come down to the very end. And again, the Warriors win this game 119-116. It was just a 1-point game. And Stephen Curry thankfully makes his free throws, and the Suns can't tie it at the very end. But this should not have happened. Will Richard getting DNP'd for what, 4 games straight? At least 3? I think it was 3, maybe. Was it 3 or 4? I think it was 4 games he got DNP'd. Our FanDuel player of the game. All he does is play 19 minutes and 15 seconds. Imagine if Kerr gave him 10 more minutes and made that consistent all season. Meaning, imagine if Will Richard got 30 minutes a night. How much better this team would be. Well, in 19 minutes and 15 seconds, our FanDuel player of the game, Will Richard. I love this kid. Will the Thrill. 20 points. A perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line. You want that. A perfect 4 of 4 from the 3-point line. You want that. He had 1 missed shot in this game. And the only reason why it was called a miss is because they credited Devin Booker with a block on a play that looked like a steal. Far more than a block. But the refs attributed that play or the scorekeepers. I can't remember who was in charge of that, but they credited that as a block. And because it's a block, it means that it was a field goal attempt. And so Will Richard did not shoot a perfect 6 of 6 from the field. That one credited block to Devin Booker results in the only missed shot of the game for Will Richard, who has such a beautiful three-point stroke, who is aggressive, who by this team's standards is big, which is sad. And one of the many impressive stats that Will Richard consistently gives this team every time he plays is rebounds. In 19 minutes and 15 seconds, Will Richard also grabbed 5 boards to go with his 20 points. Good stuff. I want Will Richard to play all the time. And I hope it happens. $119-116 the final score. Draymond Green getting ejected very early. On the socials, I saw a lot of chatter that his ejection resulted in good things for the Warriors. I am not going to go there. I can understand the frustration from people about Draymond Green, more specifically the turnovers. He only had one tonight in 8 minutes and 15 seconds before he got ejected. People bring up the fact that offensively he's not consistent. I think he was like 1 of 6 from the three-point line last game. But to me, any player is going to look below average, certainly by their own standards, when you surround them with mediocrity. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'll give a full I'll judge Draymond Green with the same negativity as haters have if I see him struggling out there when the team's best players are playing. That's just where I'm at. And Draymond Green got ejected for some contact he made with Colin Gillespie early in this game as sort of a payback for the treatment that Stephen Curry got last game, that Dylan Brooks gut punch. He gets ejected. GP2, who already was the sixth man again for this Warriors team. If you're sick of Brandon Podziemski and GP2 being your first 2 guys off the bench, I feel ya. It's asinine. Congrats on barely pulling it off against the Suns tonight. Barely. Warriors did not cover the spread, by the way. Spread was 5.5 in this game. Warriors win by 3. But again, this approach will not work against real teams. Now, for folks wondering where was Johnny Kuminga tonight, he was listed as out late minute on the injury report because of illness. And if your conspiracy theory inducing mind is revving up at full steam about the DNP, I don't blame you. I do think that his time is running short, and all we can hope for, when I say we, I mean people who have an emotionally invested who are emotionally invested in the Golden State Warriors for their long-term sake. We can only hope that the trade does not completely kill them for many years to come, to make a move that helps them win maybe 3 more games than they would have, 5 more games than they would have, maybe makes them a 7 seed instead of a 9 seed. Noah Rocks in our chat saying 10 rebounds for Steph and 6 assists. Stephen Curry, another great night for him. 3-point shooting was not great. Good by his standards. Not great, but it was still good. He was 4 of 11 from deep, which, what is that percentage-wise? 35%? It gets doable. It's just with Steph, we hold him to his standards, right? And so unless Steph is hitting 40% or more from deep, you're always going to not be overly impressed when he shoots something like 4 of 11. Pretty much any other player posts up a 3-point shooting line like that, and you're going, yeah, sure, I'll take that all day, every day. But Steph, the greatest shooter ever. A respectable, but by his own standards, below average. 4 of 11 shooting from deep, which again, not hurting the team at all. 9 of 19 from the field total, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, in a very physical game that included some very interesting back and forth conversations while Steph was on the free throw line with Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks, man, talk about a pest who's making it making a name for himself. 10 rebounds. I just updated my box score. It went from 9 to 10. So whoever in the chat, Noah Rocks, who caught that 10 rebounds, kudos, because my box score like a minute ago was showing 9 rebounds. He got a 10th one. So a double-double for Stephen Curry, 28 points, 10 boards, 6 assists to go with a steal. Did have 4 turnovers. Warriors had 20 turnovers as a whole, yet still won. They win the turnover battle tonight. They lose the turnover battle tonight, 21-14. Phoenix scoring 15 points off those 21 turnovers. The Warriors scoring 24 points off Phoenix's 14 turnovers. But Steph, if there's gonna be any criticism about Steph's usage tonight, it will come with the minutes. Kerr has no intention of keeping Stephen Curry fresh for April. Because if he did, you're not playing him 35 minutes and 6 seconds in a December regular season game. Yet that's what Steve Kerr did. But Steph was magnificent. I see him on the podium right now. We'll play some sound in just a minute. We'll bring the audience on in just a minute. 28 points for Steph, 10 boards, 6 assists one more time. The one blemish on the night, the 4 turnovers, a plus 13 in net rating to lead all players. Jimmy Butler, I thought, had a fantastic night as well. Larger emphasis on involving him offensively. He made for whatever reason, every time he puts up a 3-point shot, it looks like he's flailing. It's a buzzer beater. But when you look at it in slow-mo, the form is perfect. It's just so rushed. And Jimmy made a couple of big threes tonight, finished 2 of 6 from 3. It was a little interesting seeing him put up a wide-open 3-point shot late in the game. That shot did brick. But Jimmy finished the game second in scoring on the team with 25 points. Added just 1 rebound. That's interesting. Jimmy Butler had 0 defensive rebounds. His 1 board came on the offensive side, but he was 10 of 21 from the field. When you take away those 3-point attempts, he was 8 of 15 from the field. It's better than 50%. You'll take that. Added a nice 3 of 3 shooting from the free throw line. A stat that I did not that I was not aware of until I heard one of the broadcast crew mention it. The Warriors dead last in the NBA again. I remember very vividly. I can't remember if it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but it was a major point of consternation for this team a couple of years back, where they finished dead last in the NBA in points in the paint, and they are dead last again in points in the paint, because that's what Hobbit ball does to you. You can't score buckets when you're rolling just little people out there. Are you kidding me? Lollipop Guild ain't dunking the ball and putting up easy layups. They're getting blocked when they try to do that. Points in the paint tonight, the Warriors lose 44-40, but where they absolutely dominated, as I mentioned a moment ago, second chance points, outscoring, and that includes the points off turnovers, 26-9. The Warriors win in that category. They can overlap, right? Second chance points, turnovers. I'm almost positive of that. The Warriors are also one of the worst fast break teams in the NBA. That's a stat that should be really concerning for a team that's supposed to rely on speed. That's why you play these smaller guys. But yeah, you're still like one of the worst in fast break points. The Warriors lost that battle tonight, 12-11 to Phoenix. But hey, look, they won. I'm going to feel good about this if the coaching staff actually learns from this. So when they play Orlando Monday, we hopefully see the same dudes that resulted in success tonight for your Golden State Warriors. More specifically, would be nice to see Will Richard out there again. Can we not get any more Will Richard DNPs, please? Will the Thrill is legit. I mean, Johnny Kuminga's gone. Don't make the same mistake with Will the Thrill, please. I beg you. Any paid chats? Yes. Wainster dropping $5 saying, in my humbled opinion, hey now, we are about to go on a run. I love your optimism. The Orlando game is going to be a big one in terms of whether or not a run starts, because when you look at the Warriors' schedule, if they can win the Orlando game, then you've got Dallas, you've got Toronto, you've got Brooklyn, and you've got Charlotte. Those are your next four. One final home game on Christmas against the Mavericks, and then you finish up the calendar year with 3 road games. Toronto might be a tough one. The Raptors have been playing some good ball this season. They rely largely on length, athleticism, which is the kryptonite of these Golden State Warriors. Brooklyn, Charlotte, and even Charlotte has some talent. But Wainster, I respect your optimism, and I do think there's some logic substantiating your positive beliefs because of the upcoming schedule. Thank you, sir, for your donation as well. Love the Humboldt reference. We hope, really hope, that Humboldt's back with us as a sponsor in 2026. Another $2 donation from Wainster saying 30 and 10, definitely on the same page. I don't know what the 30 and 10 means. I apologize. 30 and 10, Steph and Jimmy Butler. Have they not been on the same page? I feel like they have been. Maybe Jimmy and other people haven't been on the same page. I don't know, but I feel like they've been on the same page. Dre as the 6th man. I would not hate that. I would not hate that. Who knows if that'll actually happen, but we shall see. Now, huge surprise. 3rd on this team in minutes. Oh, I just bit my tongue. I apologize. Brandon Podziemski. God damn. Maybe you've heard that. I'm going to get some blood in my mouth here in a second. Pods had a good start to this game, at least offensively. What I cannot unsee with every possession is what he's doing on the defensive side. And what he's doing on the defensive side is making opposing players salivate, making them wish for better things in this world with optimism, the same kind of optimism Wainster has about the Warriors' upcoming schedule. He's a defensive liability. It ain't complicated. But if he's doing the kind of things he was doing early in this game, you can make up for that a little bit. Podziemski started the game, more specifically in the first quarter. He played 7 minutes, 57 seconds and had 8 points. Second quarter, added 3 more points. So he had a good first half, is a better way of putting it. First half of this game, 11 points. He was 2 of 4 from deep, 4 of 7 from the field. Huge surprise, 0 assists. There was one fast break opportunity in this game that I specifically remember that he butchered, that should have been the easiest assist imaginable, ended up being either a turnover or a botched fast break attempt where they kept possession. I can't remember that part of it exactly. But so Podziemski, first half, 11 points, 1 board, no assists on 2 of 4 shooting from deep. You love that. The problem is second half, Brandon Podziemski, 0 of 4 from deep, and those were his only field goal attempts. Now, he did do something very good in the second half, and this makes me very happy. I'm very pleased seeing this. 6 assists. All right, Pods. Do that and I'll shut up. I did not see that stat initially. All right, Brandon Podziemski. Wow. Let's give him a round of applause. I want to be fair with this kid. I don't see him the way I saw Ty Jerome a few years ago. Ty Jerome was just a black hole on this roster. That is when my angst started, when my blood pressure began rising, all because of Steve Kerr. I don't feel that same negativity toward Brandon Podziemski. And when he's getting assists, bravo, sir. Bravo, sir. He had 6. Now, they all came in the second half, but who cares? Podziemski's stat line in the box score you look at will likely show 30 minutes, more specifically 29 minutes, 54 seconds, 11 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, did have 4 turnovers. You can't defend that, but did have 6 assists. So I will not say it was a bad game for Brandon Podziemski. The 6 assists still don't justify him being third on the team in minutes, 7th off the bench, right after GP2. Make that make sense, but I like seeing the assists because every assist means points were scored. And he was at least partially responsible for that. Kudos. Good stuff. Quinten Post as the starting center tonight. His three-point shot continues to struggle. Same with Moses Moody, who rounds out our starting five that I haven't really talked about. Quinten Post, who leads the team in net rating this year, adding to that, he was second on the team in net rating with a +10, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. But again, the three-point shooting, not consistent for Post this year. Tonight, 1 of 6 from deep, and those are good looks he's getting. Moses Moody saw his minutes diminish tonight, likely because of Will Richard. 17 minutes, 33 seconds, 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from deep. At least he made 1, and it was a clean shot too. I really liked it. Added 3 assists, added 2 rebounds. That 3 he made represented his only points, but did finish in the positive in net rating with a +4. So the team did play winning basketball while he was out there. And one last player I want to talk about before I check to see if any sound has come down, and I'll also post a link for the audience if anybody wants to join me tonight. D'Anthony Melton. I've seen a few people express some rather disappointing feelings about Melton in his short stint with the Warriors this year, since coming back from that torn ACL he suffered last year with the Golden State Warriors. The shot is not there yet. Clearly, it's not even like up for debate. D'Anthony Melton on the season, and I don't think this includes tonight's stats, but on the year, D'Anthony Melton, and granted this is just a 5-game sample size, 6 if you count tonight, he's only shooting 16.7% from deep. D'Anthony Melton is in a shooting slump. No doubt. No debate. The shot's off. But at the same time, I'm nowhere near a point where I'm just giving up on this guy. The talent is there. The team is better when he's out there. One of the biggest reasons why I don't cringe with D'Anthony Melton's minutes is because even though offensively he's not making buckets right now, and tonight, again, 0 of 5, this is the first time I'm reading this, 0 of 5 from the field. 4 of those 5 field goal attempts were 3-point attempts. Did have 2 boards. And this is where it's encouraging. And this is why with Podziemski, I keep looking at the assist numbers as well. If the shot's not falling, if you're not seeing the ball go through the cylinder, do other things to make up for it. And Melton did dish out 5 assists tonight in just 15 minutes and 34 seconds. He played pretty much half of the minutes Brandon Podziemski did and had just 1 less assist. So I do like seeing that. Maybe more importantly, he is an excellent defensive player. He doesn't make mistakes defensively. He's not someone that opposing players can take advantage of. The only liability he has defensively is in height, but he makes up for that with underrated strength, with great footwork. People are not blowing by him. So, and that's a huge reason why Melton is not someone who I necessarily like, again, just, furrow my face at when I see him playing out there. So even though Melton had just 2 points and those came off 2 free throws made, he also missed one. He got fouled on a 3-point attempt. Melton did again have those 5 assists, had 2 rebounds, and then defensively added a steal and 2 blocks. And the team was a +7 in net rating while he was out there. So what I'm trying to say is just be patient. The shot will start falling for D'Anthony Melton. And when it does, then hopefully we can start having a debate about minutes between Podziemski and Melton. It's hard to have that debate right now with Melton's shooting percentage, but when those shots start falling, I think that could be a healthy line of discourse, is who deserves those minutes more. But and then we have Dan Hunt in our chat saying Dre's the new meltdown. I will say this, man. If Draymond Green is traded, I would not be all that surprised. It's gonna, and this is where Stephen Curry's influence will be tested yet again, because Steve Kerr is still here almost entirely because of Steph. If the front office is feeling the same way a lot of you do about Draymond Green in 2025, about to be 2026, which is that he's no longer the player he was, he hurts the team more, he helps. We'll find out. Steph does not want him traded. I'm confident of that, but for the amount of money he makes, for the spacing issues he causes on the court, at least in Steve Kerr's mind, I would not be shocked, is what I'm trying to say, if he got moved. And we shall see. Let's see if there's any sound that has come down. While I look for that, let's if anybody wants to join the program tonight, link is in the chat. I did observe Moses Moody closely in terms of his ball handling, because I can't remember if it was Quinten or Cam, one of the two Fire Kerr guys, who said pay close attention to Moses Moody's handles because he can't go left. But I did not see any positions tonight where he had handles, period. It just the ball was moving. It did not stop with him. At least that's not what I saw at any point. Now, Stephen Curry was at the podium. And in terms of sound bites, we'll start with him. And Steph talked about the depth of this team, talked about what it took to win tonight. And at least if the caption's accurate, he's giving credit to everybody. So let's hear from Stephen Curry. This is courtesy of the Golden State Warriors who published this, which means that the sound should be okay in terms of quality. I don't think you need to turn the volume up on your devices to hear this. Here is Wardell after tonight's game. One more time, his stat line. Stephen Curry, 28 points, a team leading 28, 10 boards, 6 assists, on 4 of 11 shooting from deep, 9 of 19 from the field, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, a plus 13 in net rating that also led the team. Did have 4 turnovers, a slight blemish, and added a steal as well. Here is Wardell.
Unbelievable performance. Will Richard coming off of an extended time not in the rotation, the way that he played, not just the scoring, but just his presence all over the floor. GP defensively, BP, big rebound at the end of the game. Trace getting extended time. So Gee, fourth quarter, just getting his number called and being ready. It's not ideal. You want to, continue to find that consistency, but the idea of, everybody being ready to play is huge.
And again, Guy Santos, I didn't mention his stats, but I brought him up at the very beginning in terms of not seeing any minutes until the fourth quarter, defying Steve Kerr's own excuse that he used for Seth Curry just a week earlier. Guy did not see a second of playing time until the start of the fourth quarter, comes in, reminds everyone who has forgotten that Guy brings athleticism, brings speed, brings energy, brings size, and he actually has an awesome skill set as a basketball player in those 6 minutes and 34 seconds, 2 of 3 from the field. He made a huge 3 in this game, was 1 of 2 shooting from deep, added 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 5 points in those 6 minutes and 34 seconds, accompanying the 3 rebounds and 2 steals and 1 made 3. And again, you ask me, Guy Santos should be playing 25 minutes a night easily. Like how Guy Santos is behind GP2, how Guy Santos is behind Brandon Podziemski, I'm lost in trying to understand that. But then again, it does make sense because of who the head coach is. I'm going to go chronologically tonight. And we start with Julian Bashir joining us live from Jersey, the beautiful state of New Jersey, the Garden State. Great movie, by the way. How are you doing, how are you, Julian?
I'm good. You should be the announcer for the Warriors games, or the in arena announcer introducing the players. Really,
I appreciate that. Thank you. That was one of my jobs when I was creative director for a sports talk radio station. My voice was like the one doing all the promos and all that shit. Yeah. I appreciate that, man. How are you doing? What was your interpretation of this game?
Well, real quick, how can we get you to replace Fitz? Is that possible? Do you have the connections? You said you were going
I
to
don't
text
know.
Bob Myers the other day.
I don't
Maybe
know.
that job.
I haven't sent that text yet. That's going to happen. Julian, I don't know. This may sound weird to you. Let me know if it makes sense. But with important texts like that, with important lines of communication like that, I at least have to feel it. Like it has to. I have to be like it has to come to me, almost like a muse telling me exactly what the words are. It's going to be this weekend, but I just want it to feel right. And let the universe kind of tell me send it now, But and again, maybe I sound crazy saying that, but Bob Myers will get the text this weekend. Bob, if you're watching, I hope I hear back from you, and I hope you say yes. That would be amazing.
Cool. Well, one of my main takeaways of the game, everyone's been talking about it, but I want to do a different direction as far as if you own a company and you hire like a general manager to run your company. And he has like say you have software and there's a software that can make things run smoothly and make more money for you, but that general manager says, oh, I don't want to use that yet because we're still on the old Windows, and you're losing money. That doesn't make sense. That's a fireable offense. So I just use an analogy of, you have the tools, we play to win the game. And Will Richard again comes in. He's been doing this all year. He's a great fit. Like I said, I think one time I was on a show where he had an off game, and I said, "Well, he has an off game because you're asking him to do something that he's not. He's not a facilitator, but he plays well off of everybody else." And if I was Steve Kerr, I would have identified that from the start. If anything, like Will Richard is the best cutter on the team. And that's probably from the 4 years at the school. So that school definitely taught him some X's and O's of basketball. If I was Steve Kerr, I would say, because Kuminga is still younger than Will Richard, and you always say, oh, Kuminga didn't go to college. Get those two guys together, put their locker rooms together, and say, Kuminga, you are our best athlete. I want you to learn how to cut like Will Richard. Mm-hmm. Identify that in a training camp. This is how you build a team. This is also how you build chemistry. But he clearly doesn't do that because he always tells us, oh, I never thought of that lineup. Yeah, you don't think it's
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And speaking of Steve Kerr, some sound bites coming down. Do you mind listening to those together?
Put them on.
Now, unfortunately, he's everything that's available currently. I'll try to find the full once we get to hear the whole thing. It's not available yet, at least not from what I can find. But what's on the socials, and this one actually has good audio quality. Again, we're 2 for 2 in that department. This courtesy of NBC Sports Bay Area. Unfortunately, the topic is something that not many people will care about. That is out of my control. Forgive me. And that is Draymond Green's ejection. So let's hear from Steve Kerr talking about that ejection. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll talk about it.
What did you think of the Draymond ejection, and how did you?
I thought it was weak. I mean, he was yelling at the refs, so he definitely deserved one. But then, he's walking to the bench and he yells something, and the second technical. I mean, we just saw a guy on their team literally punch Steph in the stomach and the other night, and premeditated. Punches him in the stomach, no ejection for that. And then, 2 nights later, the refs got upset with, some words from Draymond. I totally disagreed. And that's why I got my tech, because I was furious that they booted him out just like that so easily.
What did you?
And my only issue with that, Julian and everyone else, is why didn't Steve Kerr get the 2 techs? I've been waiting for a Steve Kerr ejection for so long. This man used to get ejected fairly frequently fighting for his team. But now when we all want it so that we can see a competent individual, in this case being Terry Stotts, making rotational decisions, we never see it anymore. This man never gets kicked out of games. Instead, Draymond Green gets ejected. And side note, if you ever wonder, why the hell is Draymond so damn loyal to this man? This is an example of it. Steve Kerr going to bat for his guy. And Draymond is aware of that, and he recognizes that. He has a head coach who fights for him. He's not going to experience that with most basketball teams. It's also very important to note that Draymond got ejected largely to prevent this thing from escalating, meaning the officials were very aware of what Dillon Brooks did 2 nights ago. Something tells me they're also aware that they totally botched that, but what they didn't want was an escalation. And Draymond Green, sadly, is not treated fairly, largely because of his history in the game and incidents. I'm not saying any of that is right. I'm just trying to explain what's going on in these officials' minds behind why they ejected Dre. They did not hesitate. They saw Draymond Green make contact to the back of Colin Gillespie, and they were like, you know what? If he stays in this game, there's going to be another incident likely. Him and Dylan Brooks, these are two of the biggest firebrands in our game, and he's out. And it's not complicated, but there is a lot of a nuance to pick up from things like this, chief being this is why Draymond Green is loyal to his coach and why he will not push back on rotational decisions from this man. This is case in point right there. Your thoughts, Julian?
I concur, and I think that I like the point that you brought up. That I was thinking that he doesn't want to get kicked out because the moment that he goes into the back, Terry Stotts takes over, and we're going to start seeing Guy Santos play like 20 minutes a game and actually see a really good offense being run out there.
And the memo in our chat saying Terry Stotts is not any better than Steve Kerr. How do you know that? Let's see it. I don't think I've seen. I have no recollection, but that doesn't mean it's true because of my stoner brain. Julian, I don't know if you do, but I have no recollection of Steve Kerr getting ejected since Terry Stotts has become the assistant. I would love to see how Terry Stotts manages this team.
Well, the thing that
he did, one of the first things he'd do is tell Brandon Podziemski, "Love you, kid, but you're at the end of the bench. Like you're not getting minutes if I'm the coach." No coach in their right mind is putting GP2 and Brandon Podziemski as your two top guys off the bench with this roster. It's one of the most asinine things ever. And so, Memo, you might be right, but until we see it, who knows?
Well, the thing about Memo's response is that we've only seen Steve Kerr in one iteration, and every time he has not had his superstars, he's drastically under 500. And what we see from Terry Stotts is that he's made the playoff multiple times with just one superstar. CJ McCollum was never an all-star level player. Yes, he can score 20 points per game, but he was short and deficient in many other areas. And that team that went to the Western Conference Finals had Alpha Camino, Seth Curry, Yusuf Nurkic, Damian Lillard, and CJ McCollum. So that's why we say that Terry Stotts is probably a better coach because he's made the playoffs with multiple different teams and even almost made the finals by getting to the third round of the Western Conference with a lesser Steph Curry with Damian Lillard. Because
real quick, James Hawthorne in the chat bringing up the fact that Buddy Hield got benched. That's a huge silver lining. I mentioned that right at the beginning of the show. And let's hope that – look, it is a sign that Kerr learns. It took over a third of the season where now the Warriors improved tonight to 14-15. It took 29 games before we saw it, but better late than never. And again, who knows what happens next game? This might just be a one-game blip. For all we know, next game, Buddy Hield is our sixth man. I just have no trust. I have no faith in Kerr.
Well, some fans in analytical podcasts, the reason why we're shocked that it took so long because you're not going to lose Buddy by sitting him. He's just going to be happy. And you should have sat him the moment that we got Seth Curry and Melton healthy. And he could be a great here's the thing. Him and GP2 are great locker room guys. If you want to pay them a few million just to be great locker room guys and practice guys, but they should be DNP coach's decision, just like Udonis Haslem. I always keep on bringing him up, but they kept paying him because he was great for the locker room. Okay, so if GP2 is everyone's best friend, doesn't mean that he needs to be in the rotation. If Buddy has connected Butler and Green and Steph together, okay, he's probably overpaid for the job. One analogy I'll give you is that, remember Duncan Robinson, he signed a huge contract with the Miami Heat because he was a great shooter. And the following year, he was so bad that they had to sit Duncan Robinson for the majority of the year. And then the following year, he came back and redeemed himself. But just because someone has a contract doesn't mean that you have to play them. And if you keep them on your team, give them another chance the next year. So that I think that's part of the reason why we won. I think if Hield played today over Richard, we would have lost this 3-point win. So
beautiful. How's your weekend going?
So I want you to get to other people, but I was doing some stupid trade ideas. And so since we played the Suns, how can we get some draft picks? So this is not like technically to get better, and also K- Kuminga's stock might be ruined, or teams value him, but they're trying to shortchange us. So Suns were interested in Kuminga. I did a trade, Nick Richards, because he's out of the rotation for the Suns, and for Grayson Allen and for Kuminga. I believe we can get a first round pick from them because that's just like kind of a throw in package for Kuminga. And their lineup would be Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Kuminga, and Mark Williams. So I think we can get a first round pick from the Suns if we did a trade package like that. And my last stupid trade, which is not going to happen, would be Draymond Green for Tobias Harris and get a first round pick from them, because I believe the Pistons would value Draymond Green's defense and the fact that they're on top of the conference. They might want to need that championship pedigree and knowledge. So I think they would trade an expiring contract of Tobias Harris and a pick of this year, probably, since they're the first seed, won't be much, to get Green and the possibility of getting a championship mindset in that locker room to take them to the finals.
Julian,
So just some ideas.
I don't hate that trade at all. I mean, if you can get a look now, the only downside is a Detroit first rounder does not really have a shitload of value because the Pistons are going to be a top team record wise. So you're talking about a first round pick that's like 25th. Like if you can negotiate something where let's say it's like a pick swap anytime in the next 3 years, maybe that first round pick is down the road. Maybe I don't know what the Pistons have in terms of other teams' picks, but if that first rounder can be flipped to something that's going to end up higher, now you're really talking. But I like where your mind's going with this because I can see the Pistons being interested. Yeah.
I was going to say, this is what a front office should be doing. Don't be emotional and figure out what's best for this team. You have an aging roster. You might need to load up some picks. Maybe Grayson Allen as a shooting guard and his height will be better for this team. Maybe an expiring deal for next year so you can sign more players would be good for this team. And especially if we're below 500, the loyalty, like the Patriots, they didn't stick with that loyalty tradition, and they did pretty well. Like, okay, this person's coming to the end of their ropes. Let's get them out of here before anyone else notices. And I think with Green – we see the spacing issues out there and the position issues. He still can give us a great defensive game, but I believe that Guy Santos is better than him in all aspects except defense. I think at this point in their career, I think Guy can be a better passer. He's definitely a better rebounder, better shooter, and who knows what this team could be if we actually gave some guys chances. But if we're saying we're trying to win that championship, but hovering around the 9th seed and 500 and trying to, overexert people to get in for that championship is not really doing anyone any good, especially for a 38-year-old Steph Curry. So that's all I got to say.
You said a lot, man. Have a great night, Julian. That was fantastic. Jennifer Farmer in our chat saying Tobias Harris, stop it. I feel you. And again, the first round pick is what would have enticed me. Tobias could also give you some valuable minutes off the bench. If you're insinuating the Warriors can do better than that, maybe. I'd love to hear your suggestions. But what piqued my interest with that idea was mostly the first-round pick. But a first-round pick from the Pistons directly for next year, for example, like that's going to be like 28th. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly going to move the needle. But if you can get like another team's pick that the Pistons own. Or some sort of scenario where like over the next 3 years, you're entitled to a pick swap. So if the Pistons have a bad season, then you can slide in. I'm just spitballing on a live program. I also feel what you're saying about Tobias Harris. Let me see if any other sound has come down here really quickly where Kerr or one of the players talks about something meaningful. Let me see here. Because I saw Steph at the podium right after the game. If I can get Steve Kerr's full press conference, we'll play that so we can hear questions that actually matter instead of Kerr's thoughts on Draymond Green's ejection. And I still don't see Kerr's full press conference published anywhere. I see his pregame press conference published, not his postgame. So nothing available yet. And friendly reminder again, the Warriors' next play Monday night, and they play the Magic. And if you forgot how that went the last time, the Magic have size. The Magic are a long team. And what I mean by that is, more specifically, when it comes to the Warriors, if you don't see Will Richard get significant minutes, if you don't see Guy Santos get significant minutes, it might be a long day for you. Night, whatever. But because Orlando does bring a lot of athleticism and a lot of toughness, and heavy Podziemski, heavy GP2 minutes, Buddy Hield, the DNP being just a blip. Don't expect that. Like, don't expect success if that's how Kerr rolls Monday night. We shall see. Also very curious if Kuminga's back, or if Kuminga, called in sick, knowing a DNP was coming. What an ugly situation, man. And anybody who absolves Kerr from that, shame on you for just being utterly disingenuous, for shaking pom-poms instead of living in reality. It's asinine. No other cuts, no other sound bites yet. Hopefully by the end of the show tonight, there will be more that I can play for you. But at this particular moment, I don't see anything new coming down in terms of clips from the post-game press conference. Just everything is just Steve Kerr talking about Draymond being ejected. No one gives a shit. God, the media scene here is pathetic. Let's bring Slash onto the program. Slash, how are you doing?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. You staying dry? We're getting some rain here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I'm in LA, but yeah,
Oh.
the rain is coming.
I thought you lived in the Bay. Do you live in the Bay, in the SoCal?
Yeah, I live in LA. I live near USC.
Oh, gotcha. My apologies. I don't know why I thought you were here. Anyways,
Okay.
Well, you guys were getting rain like a month ago or a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is it raining there too?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But it's supposed to around Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Yeah. So
all right. Well, what were your thoughts about tonight's game? Good to hear from you.
Good to be on when there's a win. That's number one. No, but tonight's game was good. Was really good. I think, and this is just my whole analysis of this whole team right now. I think Pods is actually a lot more valuable on this team, but he's just being utilized in a way that's not making sense. Now, I know that's not a popular opinion, and I can understand why, but at the same time, he did do a lot of good things tonight. I think Will Richard did a lot of good things tonight, per usual.
Hell yeah.
And I think
real quick, Slash, sorry to hit the pause on you 1 second here. Real quick. Riz has been hitting me up in the chat asking, do you think Will Richard is going to be the future of this team? I have no idea. But what I can tell you is so far so damn good. I love what I see so far. Slash, what do you think?
No, he should be.
But do you think he's the future? Like, what do you see from Will Richard like 3 years from now?
I think his 3-point shooting is going to get a lot better. I think he has a chance to be a really good 3-point shooter, like a really good 3-point shooter.
But he was a side note in case you missed it. He was a perfect 4 of 4 from the 3-point line tonight.
Yeah, because he has a little Jordan Poole in him with the 3-point shot, just a little bit, just enough that you can feel good about it. But he did really good. That tip in after the missed free throw was perfect. No, Will did really good. Guy did really good per usual. And I just feel like, and I think I've said this to you before, I think GP2 is somebody that you use for a situational purpose only. Yes. Now, I know why he did it tonight, because Draymond got ejected and everything got kind of jumbled up. But they're just things that I'm like, he has to know when to put people in certain positions. He has to know. Even I don't know if this was third quarter or fourth quarter, but I think Trace got fouled, and he was trying to block somebody, and he got fouled. I think they called a foul, and I'm like, that's not the kind of block you want him to make. He's not tall enough to make it, right? So then you put Post in, and I'm like, okay, good, but with Steve, like we've been saying, you never know, right? And I did want to also say that I saw them pan to the camera when there was a lineup out there that wasn't really his favorite, but that was working, and I saw his face, and I'm like, why are you not happy? Your team is winning, and you're upset. Why?
I don't exactly. Slash, any final thoughts and let us know. How's your Saturday night going?
No, it's going good. It's going good. Really glad that we got this win. And the last thing I wanted to say is Dillon Brooks is an actual problem, right? Because Dillon was just doing stuff tonight that I'm like, yo, he's gonna get somebody hurt. And
that too. Well, he already did. I mean, I'm never forgetting what he did to GP2 in the 2022 Western Conference semis.
That was him.
That was him. Yes.
Completely forgot that.
Dude, he's a psychopath. Well, what I thought you were going to say is that you were impressed with his improvement because offensively he's improved tremendously.
No, he really has.
Which is crazy, but he's a nut job, dude. I'm never forgiving him for that shit.
The antics are just. Somebody in the chat was saying, "Oh, he'd be good for us, but we would never bring him on to." I'm like, no, we wouldn't, because he's just. Don't get me wrong. Offensively, he's a lot better, but like he's just.
I would not want him. I don't think he's worth it. It's perfect for Phoenix because they're in a rebuild. Whatever the hell's going on with them, like it's perfect. They're winning games with him. He's almost single-handedly. Yeah. And side note, I don't think his play is affecting what's his name, Devin Booker all that much either. And Devin Booker tonight,
I actually think it's helping Devin.
I agree. And this is without Jalen Green. Jalen Green has been out for a while. I don't know how that's going to work out when he's healthy. But Devin Booker tonight led all scorers, 38 points in this game. And then Dillon Brooks added 22, 3 of 5 shooting from deep. He was a problem. Dillon and the recipe was not difficult. Every time Dillon Brooks had the ball, all he was doing was seeking out either Steph or Podziemski. That was his entire and GP2. Like he was not afraid of GP2's defense at all. Nobody is. It's kind of crazy. All right, brother. I want to play some Steve Kerr sound. There is a YouTube account that thankfully records these press conferences, and I want to get to that. Have a great night, Slash.
Okay.
Beautiful. And let's hear from Steve Kerr. John Holmes saying Will Richard may have been the steal of the draft. You might be right. There is no justifiable reason for him to be getting DNPs in 4 straight games. Thankful he got a run tonight. And again, all we can hope for is that this is a sign of things to come. But it's not like he hasn't done this before. Will Richard already, as a rookie, his career high in scoring is 30. And yet we saw DNPs after performances like that. So I don't feel good at all that we're going to be seeing more of him because Steve Kerr, the tinkerer, will just continue doing crazy shit. Speaking of Steve Kerr, the tinkerer, here's the entirety of the press conference. This is courtesy. I want to give a huge props to Basketman on YouTube for publishing this. Thank you, Basketman. And let's hear from Steve Kerr. This is following tonight's win at Chase Center, right? Is this the correct clip? Yeah, it is. Final score again, 119-116. The Warriors improving to 14-15 on the year. And then we're not going to play the whole press conference clip now. It's about 9 minutes in length. We'll break it up into either 2 or 3 segments, but let's get started. I want to hear the entirety of this. And here's Steve Kerr after the game talking to the media.
Quarter was not ideal for you guys, especially defensively. Obviously Draymond gets thrown out, so things could obviously change no matter what. What changed for your guys to play the defense that they did down, for the rest of the game?
Yeah, the game settled down for us, after the first quarter. I mean, they came out lights out shooting. We made a few mistakes and gave them some open looks, and then we buckled down defensively. The middle quarters were fantastic defense, and then they broke free a little bit at the end, but we were able to hold them off.
Steve, you talked a lot this year about the importance of crashing, about being active on the boards. The bench had 12 offensive rebounds alone, and I think it was a team 26 second-hand points. Do you feel like you guys have really made progress or improvement in that aspect of the game?
We have, yeah. The last few weeks we've made good progress in terms of getting our offensive rebounds going, the crashing, which helps the transition defense, and then, tonight was really fun to watch Gary and Guy. And, Guy doesn't play the first 3 quarters and then has a great 6 minutes. He's perfect bench guy. He brings energy, makes big plays. And obviously Will, putting him back in the rotation, wonderful to see him play the way he did. He was fantastic.
I was going to ask, what did you think of Trace Jackson-Davis's performance?
Trace did a good job. He's played really well the last couple of weeks. Just defensively, he's a force out there. And I just thought the whole bench really came in, did a great job.
Steve, obviously at this stage, any win feels good, but winning a clutch game, is that a little bit more satisfying because you guys have struggled in those games?
Yeah, for sure. We've lost a bunch of close games. Some of them, the breaks haven't gone our way. The other night, the air ball from Brooks goes off the side of the backboard, and tough call. And one in Philly, same thing, air ball. Last shot, offensive rebound. So we've had some bad luck, but we know we have to execute better down the stretch too. Tonight we didn't execute well, especially defensively. We gave up some open looks, and the 3-point play by Book, with about a minute to go is we can't do that. We can't have a full court press on and let them break free and go right to the rim. So we have a lot to look at and learn from.
And speaking of that point, that's a perfect example of Brandon Podziemski and where he fails as a basketball player at this point in his career. Those full court defensive sets that he's referencing here, the reason why it was so easy to break down is because of who he had out there as defenders. If your defenders have super slow turtle level foot speed, of course you're not going to be able to keep up. And it's just. It's wild. It's wild who he values. It's wild hearing this man talk in general. But in case you're wondering, did we even implement a full court a defense tonight? Yes. If you're wondering why didn't it work, it's because you had the wrong players out there. It's not complicated. I can picture in my mind right now. I don't know how many possessions where Podziemski was trying to defend the full court. When opposing players see that, they just, again, it's just dollar signs in their eyeballs. It's just green light. Go. This will not be an issue for you. It's insane. And I really, it's just, if Podziemski was your point guard and that's it, you can live with that. But when it's like Podziemski, GP2, Steph on the floor together, you're going to get picked apart. That is not a challenge for the opposition. Anyways, let's listen to more of Steve Kerr.
Steve, Steph actually just acknowledged that he gets nervous when he needs 2 free throws late in a game like that. And so he smiles and mentally enjoys the moment and just tries to relax. Maybe is that it? Can he be an example for everybody if even Steph gets nervous?
Everybody gets nervous. If you don't get nervous, then there's something wrong. That's when it's time to retire. And so that's a big part of it for every player is, learning how to control the nerves under pressure, be mindful and take a deep breath. And Steph's as good as anybody at that, obviously.
What did you think of the Draymond ejection, and how did you?
I thought it was weak. He was yelling at the refs, so he definitely deserved one. But then, he's walking to the bench and he yells something and the second technical. We just saw a guy on their team literally punch Steph in the stomach and the other night, and premeditated, punches him in the stomach, no ejection for that. And then, 2 nights later, the refs got upset with, some words from Draymond. I totally disagreed. And that's why I got my check, because I was furious that they booted him out just like that so easily.
I mean, you mentioned it within there. How upset were you guys the other night with that Brooks foul?
Yeah. I mean, how can you not be upset? I mean, this is a guy who broke Gary's elbow in the playoffs, clotheslining him with one of the dirtiest plays I've ever seen. So it's not like there's not a track record there. And it's right there. They look at it. I don't know what the point of replay is if you're not going to kick a guy out for literally punching somebody. It's bizarre to me that he was not, first of all, ejected from that game and then suspended or fined. Nothing. So apparently you're now allowed, this is my take, you're now allowed to premeditate a punch of any shooter who's left, like defenseless. You can now take a swing at him and know you're just going to get a flagrant 1. So I don't know, maybe we'll do that. But probably not.
Speaking of Brooks, he got that third foul right before halftime. Did that kind of change any of your strategy going forward?
I thought that was a key play of the game. He fouls Steph on the 3, and then we get the rebound, and we end up with 4 points, and felt way better at halftime. So that was a huge play.
Did you try and target him on defense, knowing that he is in foul trouble, to try and maybe get him out?
Brooks?
Yeah.
No, we weren't targeting him. He's a good defender. We were trying to spread the floor, get their 5s and pick and roll. And I thought Iguodaro did a really good job of staying in front. Steph made a couple tough shots over him, but they're a tough team. I have a lot of respect for Phoenix for the way they're competing this year. Jordan is doing a great job with them, and Brooks is a guy who he gets under your skin, but he's a really good player, and he brings an attitude, to a team. And so I'm very impressed with what they're doing.
Steve, just to follow up real quickly, did you guys talk to anybody at the league office about the Brooks foul the other night?
Yeah.
What was the explanation?
No comment. Yeah, that's private. Yeah.
Specific to Draymond, when he leaves the game, what do you think changes the most offensively when he's not on the floor?
What changes the most? Well, we spread the floor a little bit, with QP when he's at the 5, and Jimmy's at the 4. So we start isolating more with Jimmy, and we miss Draymond's.
I hope you folks know that makes no sense because Jimmy was already on the floor. So was Post. So if he's worried about spacing, typically who gets Draymond's minutes are Gary Payton II, who is not out there to space the floor. This makes no sense. Hearing this man talk is insane.
Pick and roll game with Steph, the dribble handoff, all the stuff that they do. So it changes the game. But we've adapted pretty well this year. When Dre has missed games, our guys have settled in and done some good things offensively.
Tonight was the first time since Buddy became a Warrior that he registered a DNP. Yeah. Was that a premeditated decision, or was the
I replaced him in the rotation with Will. I told him beforehand I feel terrible. He had a streak of 199 games in a row, and it's one of the longest streaks in the league. And one of the things I love about Buddy, he's there for you every single night, and he's the greatest teammate ever, and just an amazing spirit and key part of our team. And it felt terrible not to play him, but I sat Will the last 5-6 games, and we needed to get him back out there, and you could see why.
It's incredible that, for whatever reason, Brandon Podziemski is immune. 2 minutes. He's going to get him no matter what. I remember Steve Kerr doing this exact same thing to Kevon Looney last year, because Kevon Looney had some crazy streak going, and then Kerr just inexplicably DNPs him one night. Streak's over. I wouldn't hate Buddy getting 5 minutes to keep the streak going, and then take 5 minutes off Podziemski. You can't do that. Why does Podziemski have to get 30 minutes? What's going on here? I was looking at my notes, case in point, as I'm listening to obtuse individual speak. And I forgot that the Warriors gave up 44 first quarter Phoenix Suns points. I have it in my notes that in those 44 points Phoenix scored in the first quarter, Brandon Podziemski was targeted almost every possession. It's crazy. And it's not like he's lighting it up out there. I saw people in the chat mention that his three-point shot, Brandon Podziemski's, is above 40% currently. Check again tomorrow, because tonight he was 2 of 8 from deep. That's good for 25%. And Podziemski does not have a large sample size of three-point attempts this year, so it's probably going to go down to 39-38 by the time you wake up tomorrow. But that's besides the point. That kind of sucks. I was actually very happy that Buddy Hield got the DNP because his minutes have made no sense. But then he has this very impressive streak of 199 straight games played. You couldn't have made that 200 and just take 5 minutes off your stepson, Brandon Podziemski's minutes. If I had a gun to my head and someone asked, who would you rather play, Buddy Hield or Podziemski? I'm picking Buddy. God damn it, dude. And we're stuck with this guy for likely the rest of the year. I just hope when they trade Kuminga January 15th or whatever it is, that they don't mortgage the future because this buffoon has convinced the front office that this team has what it takes to make a real run with what they currently have. And all they need is a role player or two. Dude, oh my God. We're almost there.
Buddy's time will come back around. It always does. He's got the right attitude. He's going to keep working, getting shots up, and I know things will work out for him.
Steve, is it fair to say Will went 6 for 7 because you sat him and you knew how to motivate him to have a breakout game?
Yeah, it was all me.
You've talked about you're playing a lot of guys, and over the course of the year, that's part of it. When do you say during the season we got to get this down to the guys, the 9-10 guys?
As soon as you're comfortable with two-way lineups, the ability to have lineups out there that can defend and score, and you're able.
I want to play that again. That was Marcus Thompson of The Athletic, who tweeted earlier tonight. I saw this, that he made a reference to the Will Richard DNPs. We haven't been talking about this on the show for weeks, acting like it's some revelation. He's been DNP'd before tonight. Yeah. Are you paying attention? Anyways, I want to hear this question one more time because it was probably the only meaningful question of this press conference, and it pertained to the rotational decisions, which is what's directly impacting this team. So let's hear from Marcus one more time.
You sat him.
Him back, dude. He's going to keep.
Steve, is it fair to say Will went 6 for 7 because you sat him and you knew how to motivate him to have a breakout game?
Yeah, it was all me.
You've talked about you're playing a lot of guys, and over the course of the year, that's part of it. When do you say during the season we got to get this down to the guys, the 9-10 guys?
As soon as you're comfortable with two-way lineups, the ability to have lineups out there that can defend and score, and you're able to put together those lineups throughout the game for 48 minutes, then that's when you can say, all right, we're playing these 9 guys or these 10 guys, whatever it is. We haven't found that yet, and that's why you're seeing all the mix and matching. We've got some overlap with some players. I feel comfortable playing any of them, as you can tell, but I would feel more comfortable if we got to a regular set rotation. But I'm hoping that we can get there here, the next couple of weeks. But I'm also aware that when we get there, you guys are going to be asking me about the 4 players who didn't play and why they didn't play.
Bullshit.
So that's what that's the benefit of what you guys do. You just, whatever happens, just ask questions. That's right.
And he laughs and smiles, man. This ain't funny. Like Hamza Kassem in the chat, dude. Have you had the most privileged life ever? Have you never experienced strife? Do not worry about Steve Kerr. Hamza Kassem in this chat's writing, I'm starting to feel bad for the Steve Kerr hate. The guy's making nearly $20 million just this year. He experiences an insane amount of privilege and power in his current position. Life is good for him. Most of the negative noise is tuned out. It's not getting to his ear. Stop feeling sorry for the most powerful, privileged people in this world. The dude grew up in Pacific Palisades. In case you're not familiar about where that town is, it's just Malibu. It's just the exact neighboring city to Malibu. Anybody who's from Pacific Palisades is coming from a shitload of cash. The only thing about this man that I feel a little sorry for is how he lost his father 30-something years ago. That sucked. But we all have trials and tribulations in this world. Most of us are not enjoying just perfect timing our entire life leading up to a head coaching position that pays us nearly $20 million a year. If Steve Kerr was in any other media market, I would be just another Tuesday, because every other media market actually asks difficult questions about people in positions of power like Steve Kerr. Oh my God! Are you? Have you done nothing but just live a life of luxury, Hamza Kassem? Because you're feeling sorry for this man. Someone else asked, by the way, like he seems like maybe it was also you, Hamza Kassem. Hold on, I think I even highlighted it. Yeah, it was you again saying, weird question. Do you think Steve Kerr is a nice, good person? Publicly, yes. If the cameras are on, yes. Here's to me the difference, and maybe this is all about perspective in your opinion. To me, and to someone that I consider to be a good person, I don't judge people based on their position in life professionally. I don't judge people based on how much money they make. And the reason why I say those things is because Steve Kerr, Tom Tolbert, those aloof individuals who roll around with an ego and attitude of, I'm better than you, they're not talking to the janitors. They're not talking to the people making minimum wage at Chase Center. He doesn't give a shit about those people. Is he nice on the surface? Yes. Is he a good dude in reality? I don't know, but I do know he walks around thinking he's better than others. There was that South Park episode where they made fun of San Francisco people as being smug as shit. He's one of them. It makes me wonder, like, what your background is to actually have pity for a man who's had it good his entire life, except for the tragedy involving his father. That happened like 30-something years ago. But we're all going to lose our parents at some point. It sucks that he lost his at his age. But most people don't have the fortune he does either, man. That guy grew up with everything handed to him. Are you out of your mind, dude? And he's making the kind of money he does. He has an entire arena that kisses his ass. He lives a life that has zero accountability except for me. And so, and I guess one other dude out there that some of you guys like, even though he's a legitimate nut job. In case you're wondering why certain people are not invited on this show, just do the most basic amount of research on the people that are entertaining you, informing you before you start thinking that they're a good dude. It's crazy. Anyways. Now, Bloomer Vibes has the good logo on his or the good profile pic, and Bloomer, who's an awesome Golden Dazer, is happy tonight because they won, right?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Bloomer Vibes activated just for tonight because we only got to win tonight. Well, I don't know moving forward.
Hell yeah!
But hey, no, I'm having a pretty decent night. But you know what? I honestly think this was kind of like I feel like it's a little bittersweet. You know what I mean? Like, we got this win, but then there's it's like a weird taste in your mouth afterwards. Like, you get this win, but then Draymond gets ejected. You get this win, but then, you still have the thought of Brooks, what happened to him, and he's not ejected from the last game. And it's like, there's things going on behind the scenes, even though we got this win. And also what Steve said in those post-game interview, I also kind of left a weird taste in my mouth because I watched that.
What specifically? I'm fascinated. Like, do you think Draymond Green got screwed over? Is that why you're saying that?
Yes, because I saw, because I was watching from beginning to end. What I seen for Draymond is that he made what he did was just mouthing. Obviously, we can't say it on here. Like, gotta keep it PG in a way, right? I mean, even though we want to say it, he was saying a bunch of obviously bad words.
I think I think, and let me know if you think this is accurate. I think what Draymond basically did is get Steph's back.
Oh yeah,
he was protecting Steph. He was sending a message: don't mess with our boy, man. And the Dylan Brooks thing happened at the very end of that game, so there was no time, no opportunity for some sort of message back. And we know how Draymond Green rolls. The ejection was egregious, but it was also, I feel like everyone who's a Warriors fan or has a vested interest in this organization, like they understood it, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get away with that. It's like a pitcher throwing at a batter's head if the other team's pitcher did that to you first, right? It's just a little eye for eye type shit, you know.
But also, I really think the refs in this game are Adam Silver's favorite ref, because that man, I know for a fact, is not like the Warriors. Did you see what happened in those last couple seconds in the fourth side? They were literally holding and grabbing Curry. What happens? No call. It looked like he took a walk, makes a layup. Nothing happens. Everyone's just standing around like, what is going on here? I'm like, the treatment, I really think Curry is the most unrespected superstar in the NBA from before to now. I honestly believe that. No one.
And real quick, I want to get to this before I forget. Dumb Doe in the chat's asking, like, why do I hate Kerr so much? First of all, hate's a strong word. I don't hate him. This is, again, I keep bringing up this point, and I'm sorry that either the message is not resonating or maybe you're newer to the program. Hate's a strong word, all right? This market makes me look like I hate him. This market makes me look extreme sometimes, when in reality, you go to most other media markets, especially the bigger ones, New York, Chicago, hell, even LA, definitely Boston, Philly. They let coaches know if they're being dumbasses.
Oh yeah.
It is made crystal clear in the questioning, in the discussions all week. But we live here in the San Francisco Bay Area, where we have a combination of a feckless, pathetic media scene that, and it's a long story. We could do a whole show on how these people ended up in the positions that they are. But bigger question, like, I don't hate him. He is just a journalist, and that's my mindset. I know I'm not being a journalist on this podcast, but I'm trying to be. And a journalist holds truth to power. There's only one person here, not in ownership or in the front office, that's holding all the power here, and his name is Steve Kerr. And what bugs me about him on a personal level, because there is something that bugs me tremendously about him on a personal level, is he reminds me a lot about the worst bosses I've ever had in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And what I mean by that, and I'll describe it very clearly. And if you've had this type of boss, you get it. If you've never had this type of boss, congratulations. You're a lucky son of a bitch, because they are all over the place. And the type of boss I'm talking about is the one who plays favorites, right? Certain people they like, others they don't, and you don't know why. Kerr does that. That is not a sign of good leadership. He also holds people back without explanation either. Like, if you're affecting another human being's life in a serious manner, and your only justification for it is it feels right, and you've been in that position on the wrong end, I'm guessing you want to choke that bitch out for hurting your life severely. And in this case, it's one thing if these decisions result in success, but for 3+ years, these decisions have resulted in hurting the team, hurting the fan base, hurting most of the players. Like, there is nothing good coming from these decisions other than players losing out on money and Stephen Curry, the one person I have an agenda for, losing out on more championships. So I don't hate him personally. I'm just a media personality who's calling out the utterly illogical and nonsensical decisions that this man for 3.5 years has been making. And for whatever reason, a lot of people, because they don't hear it from anyone else, because everyone else in the scene is pathetic and weak and simple-minded and not inquisitive. And for whatever reason, they hold Steve Kerr to this standard. And I think it's the more I research this, because it's a never-ending quest to truly understand why Steve Kerr is held has no accountability in terms of consequences for his actions. And it's because of how many people like him personally. He's a likable dude. Well, I don't give a shit about likability. I just give a shit about results. I give a shit about how the team is managed. That's his job. My job is to analyze his job. And he's been doing a piss poor job at it for 3.5 years. Doesn't mean I hate him personally. The Nicholas Kerr thing is a funny joke because this is a podcast. It's a program. We're trying to entertain. And that's funny as shit. Saturday Night Live joked about it. I'm not the first. And we still have no answer as to why the hell he named his son Nicholas. That's batshit crazy. But there's also a lot of very direct evidence that shows like his decisions are not, they don't make any sense. They make no effing sense. He just makes decisions based on how he feels. And that rubs me the wrong way. And if you don't agree with that, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But again, for the millionth time, I don't hate the man. I'm just one of the only people in this market who holds him accountable, at least tries to. And if that's not your cup of tea, if what you want is cheerleader coverage, if all you want is just teddy bears and rainbows and positivity, and you want to shield out a negative content in your life, even though sometimes the truth hurts, even though in a lot of cases reality is not always positive, good news for you, you have every other show out there to choose from. Nobody's forcing you to watch this. All I'm trying to do is be accurate with analysis. And I don't know how you can be accurate without calling out the guy who's making all the decisions here. And a lot of these decisions are bad. Case in point, what we just heard, Will Richard getting DNPs for 5-6 games. Why? Make that make sense. Brandon Podziemski, third on the team in minutes. Why? Make that make sense. This whole Jonathan Kuminga fiasco, this Moses Moody fiasco, make any of that make sense. His aversion to size in basketball, where it matters more than any other sport by a long shot, except maybe volleyball. But he has an aversion to it. He doesn't respect size in basketball. How do you not lose your shit over that? It's maddening. And he's getting paid nearly $20 million for that, while the majority of this country is hurting for food.
Yeah.
And people feel bad for this guy. Dude, it's wild. Like, it's incredible how many people have apparently grown up in pure privilege and luxury and have not experienced any strife ever. Because if you have, I think my messaging might resonate a little bit. But if you haven't, you're probably looking at me going, whoa, this guy's actually hating and criticizing on my beloved Steve Kerr, my beautiful angel. Yeah, sorry. And if you don't like it, there's a million other shows to choose from. Plain and simple. Go ahead, Bloomer. I'm sorry for the tangent there, but
no, you're good. Hey, there's a reason why that person who sent that question was called Dumb Doe, because they're dumb.
And Dumb Doe, I'm sorry. And again, you're anonymous, so clearly that was not a personal attack on you or anyone else. It's just, it's not hate. Hate's a very strong word. Like if I'm espousing like racist rhetoric, call me a hater. If I'm being a misogynist, call me a hater. If I'm being ageist, call me a hater. I never judge people based on anything that's out of their control. That is one massive ethos I have. But when it comes to someone in a huge position of power like Steve Kerr, and my job is covering the team that he coaches, I'm not going to shut up about this. This is madness what's been going on for 3.5 years. It's insane, man.
Yeah. So
look at this TLC guy. It's hate. I wish I grew up in the bubble, the beautiful privileged bubble you did, where you can like shield yourself in a nice little cushion that hides yourself. Like you must have a Buddha box. Again, sorry for the endless South Park references, but if you've seen South Park, and you saw the episode where they put a Buddha box around their head to shield reality out, TLC, show me where the Buddha box is, because I want one. I would really love to live in a world where bad things never happen. Teach me that. Otherwise, if you think this is hate, you are sheltered, Fred. It's insane to call this hate. It's just calling out a grossly privileged man who has a ridiculous amount of power, and I'm the only one who keeps calling it out. And it's insanity, dude. It's insane. It is. It's what world are we living in here where people think this is hate? Calling out a $20 million man guy who has lived his entire life with privilege, but I'm the guy. I'm hateful because of that.
No,
you're not. Out of here, dude. Sorry, Bloomer. I'm like hijacking your.
No. It's okay, man. No, you're calling it how it is. You're keeping it real. The people that's questioning this, they're wrong. The thing is, trying to get back on topic with the game tonight, we got to win, which is good, but we got to focus on the things like what you're saying with Steve Kerr, who I think he lost his edge of a head coach. I was blinded years ago. Now I'm seeing the big picture, especially from realists like you.
Well, look, I don't think you were blinded. I never criticized Kerr once. And I've been covering this team for 25 years professionally. Steve Kerr came on board in 2014. I look, and I wasn't really like in front, like a lot of my coverage was writing and stuff, but never criticized him once then. I was very auspicious of what was going on with the 73-win team. Never criticized him then because Leandro Barbosa admitted to me on this show some years back that chasing that wins record cost them potentially the championship because they were exhausted by the end. Side note, OKC, keep going, keep pursuing. It rarely ends well when you're trying to chase a wins record. But my point is, in 2018, when Steve Kerr was DNPing JaVale McGee and David West, so Quinn Cook and Swaggy P, I hope I got that right, Julian, we're getting minutes instead. JaVale McGee left the team without looking back, sour taste in his mouth, just like every other player who leaves this team, didn't say a word. But in early 2023, when I started to realize that Steve Kerr thinks Anthony Lamb and Ty Jerome should be getting minutes instead of the two youngsters that Bob Myers envisioned getting a big run and developing in the process, that's when I knew something very shady was going on here. And it wasn't just 2023. I kept my mouth shut the championship season when Steve Kerr was giving Damian Lee and Juan Toscano Anderson minutes over the rookies who could have been using minutes then too. But they won a title. It worked out. Who cares? My point is, like Kerr deserves the criticism he's getting now. I don't think any of us were blinded to it because when you're winning championships, you're doing a good job. You're going to get a pass. But when you have Stephen Curry on your team, one of the greatest players ever, and we're seeing 3.5 years of this shit, not to mention he's never developed a single effing player. Ever.
100%. Yeah.
How can you call somebody a great coach if they can't develop talent? And the recipe is not complicated either. Just put them out there. Just give them minutes. Like, you don't need 12, 13-man rotations. You could have a 9 or 10-man rotation where people are getting appropriate minutes. And on top of all that, besides the fact that he got fired from the Phoenix Suns as their general manager, which is all the evidence you should need that he's not a good evaluator of talent, this is him as a GM again, deciding who gets minutes and who doesn't. And you see how his brain works as a GM. He thinks the only young player of all the young players he's ever had who deserves heavy minutes is Brandon Podziemski. Think about that. That is madness, man.
That is terrible.
Podziemski of all players? I guess Jordan Poole, but then Jordan Poole, that's soured. I mean, if that had kept going like this, we'd be giving him credit for that. But it went, like that development went downhill, plane crash, largely because Steve Kerr decided to take sides and not hold Draymond Green accountable. There were no consequences, divided the locker room.
But man, it's giving him a really bad look. Like, you see, like tonight, Brandon Podziemski, if I'm not mistaken, he played like what? He played 29 minutes, 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. That's not good. But then all of a sudden, you see this one kid, Will Richard, only 19 minutes, and guess what? Scored 20 points, had 5 rebounds, which again is what Steve Kerr is saying he's one of his best traits in rebounding. Got out-rebounded from Will Richard, who got DNP'd a good amount of games. So what does that tell you? That shows that key players that actually can make a difference need more reps and minutes on the court. Don't be playing pod.
Are you done? I'm sorry. I thought you were still rolling. Are you still there, Bloomer? Oh, we lost Bloomer. Well, he was awesome. And he was enabling me. Thank you. You know who Steve Kerr reminds me of? I was trying to find the perfect clip, and I don't have it saved, unfortunately, but this is who Steve Kerr reminds me of. And if you're watching the recorded version of this and it gets cut out because of YouTube copyright, forgive me. I'll try to keep it short, so hopefully it doesn't get flagged. But this is who Steve Kerr reminds me of.
From now on, that would be great. And
I'll stop there because I don't want to keep it going. But if you've never seen the movie Office Space, highly recommend it. If you've seen it, you know Lumbergh. That would be great. Okay. While he's holding the coffee cup. In this case, I'll have my little mug here. Yeah, well, make sure you finish up those TPS reports. Kuminga, make sure you're cutting a little harder, and make sure you're putting more effort on the boards, and make sure you never shoot the ball. That would be great. Okay. Hamza Kissem's asking, what's my opinion on Jimmy Butler's recent performance? I heard Bill Simmons criticize the fact that he's only putting up 3 field goal attempts per quarter. My question is for anybody who's criticizing Jimmy Butler and how he's playing right now. I get the dollar amount thing, but if the dollar amount thing is going to be an issue, also point out the dollar amount that Steve Kerr makes is the highest paid head coach in the NBA. So be consistent with the rhetoric and the criticism. To me, Jimmy Butler is not the problem. To me, Jimmy Butler is the furthest thing from being the problem with this team. He's doing so much out there as is, whether it's defensively, whether it's passing, setting people up. And most times when he's out there, he doesn't have Steph with him, so he's like the only threat. He needs Will Richard. He needs Kuminga. I would like more D'Anthony Melton minutes with Jimmy Butler, because typically Jimmy's being surrounded by 4 non-lethal offensive players, and so defenses are squaring up on him. And I don't blame those defenses for doing it. Dude, if I was a head coach in the NBA, I would circle the calendar for every Warriors game, because I would see those as the easiest games on my schedule. Like, not even close. It's frustrating. It is so frustrating. Old Farm Craft, welcome back.
Hey, Cy, how's it going?
All right, how are you?
Man, I just have to say, and maybe not everybody feels this way, but when I saw
is that moonshine or what is that? You said that last
time. It's a wood bowl I turned. It's a box.
Or you do some wood.
Yeah, and so it does look great. It does look great. Now, I have to say, man, maybe I'm the only one who feels this way, but when I saw Draymond get ejected from the game, I was like, hey, we've got a shot. We've got a shot. And
I know a lot of people feel that way.
I understand Draymond's impact. I really do. But let's put things into perspective. When he goes out against the Sixers, we climb back into that game, and it's a close game. And then we don't have him for a stretch of like 5 games, and we're competitive. Of course, Kerr's going to do everything he can to muck it up. Pretty typical. So I was talking to my wife. We're actually on the road. We're going down south, and I said, you know what? They might win this game. And I just think that right now Draymond is getting in his own way. He's being a little prideful, and if he was smart, he would take a little page out of Klay Thompson's book and take a seat.
Do you remember last year he did take a seat for the entire month?
Right. I remember that. I remember that. And it was a good thing he did that. And he was okay with that. But it's
exactly. And I think, now granted, last year he did that largely because when he signed his last contract extension, and this is very public information, Joe Lacob made Draymond Green promise him that he would take Jonathan Kuminga under his wing. Yeah. And again, this is public. I'll find the quote if you folks really want me to. I don't know if there's audio of it, but it was in an ESPN story. I forgot who wrote it, but that was literally like a caveat for Draymond Green's last contract extension is be someone in this organization who helps me being Joe Lacob, with help with developing Kuminga, and that's how little faith he had in the coaching staff. And Draymond Green said yes, absolutely. Not to mention Draymond Green was almost directly responsible for the team drafting Kuminga in the first place.
Right.
In case you folks aren't familiar, former Golden State Warrior guard Jared Jack, his final year of professional basketball was with the same G League Unite team that Kuminga was playing on. And Jared Jack's and Draymond Green is friends with most of his former teammates, not all. Harrison Barnes, I think, case in point, would be at the top of the list. But nonetheless, so Draymond heard from Jared Jack, who's like, dude, this kid is a beast. Like, you'd be foolish not to pick him if he falls in your lap. Draymond told Bob Myers that, and the rest is history. And so last year, Draymond Green was asked to help
Right. And that's why he was going to bat for him at the beginning, of this season. And then when he was getting, when he was injured, and then when there was all this flack in the media. And and I get it. And I'm actually like, I get it. I get Draymond's contribution.
Well, I say all that. I'm only saying all that because he was.
I agree with you, Si.
Because of
Yeah.
Kuminga. If
Right.
he's being asked to come off the bench just to come off the bench,
It better be for Kuminga.
Trying to help develop a player.
Yes.
I don't know how he would take that, but at least
No, it better be for Kuminga, 100%. But
what better be? What I'm trying to say is I don't know. Like maybe he's still cool with that. Maybe he is. I don't know, but
Right.
I don't think it would hurt the team if you brought him off the bench. I really don't. If anything,
I think until he like settles down, the turnovers and the antics, like, it's like when he got league mandated psychiatric help or whatever that was when he like choked out Rudy Gobert and almost punched out Vucevic or whoever that was.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have
yeah. What? But hey, I just have to say, for
stomping on Sabonis's chest too. I mean, that's
yes,
pretty big.
right. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I just take a completely different view from everybody else on that. Like, to me, like, just this is a total side trail here. To me, I look at that play and I'm like, Sabonis grabs his leg. He does everything he can to keep from falling, and that includes stepping on his chest. Oh, shouldn't have grabbed his leg. Yeah, so
Steven Adams, you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time when those legs were
yeah, we call Draymond the octopus because he's got arms and legs everywhere. But I just have to say, like, it's so incredible to me that Guy has demonstrated night in, night out, when he gets small amounts of minutes, that Will Richard, when he gets these little windows of opportunity, they produce so much. But I don't like, you know what? It's going to be 95-7 the game. All these media, Warriors media, Kerr Glazers. Tomorrow, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, look, Podziemski, he played really well. And it's like, dude, like,
it's Saturday tomorrow, so you're not going to
that's
get
true.
that.
That's true. Thank God.
Maybe Monday you'll hear that. I'm very fascinated to see what the Warriors do in this Magic game, because what I can say confidently is if you try this shit you did tonight against Orlando, they're going to F you up. They're going to F you up. You got to play Richard more. If Kuminga is available and you're not messing with him to trade him, you got to play him. You got to give your length. Guy Santos has got to get more of a run. Dude, Orlando 100%. Is a long, athletic, physical team. We already saw that once. And I have zero faith in Kerr learning from that. But heavy GP minutes, heavy Podziemski minutes, that ain't gonna fly against Orlando. They're gonna F you up.
Right.
That's
I've been kind of going back and forth with some people, and I'll even call in. I know it's like probably pretty useless at this point, but I call in at 95-7 the game just to try to get some sense in there.
I'm glad
and to me, it's like, dude, the excuse is always, well, we got a lot of mouths to feed. We got all these mouths. Dude, I'm sorry, that's a weak-ass excuse. You don't need to play every single guard on the roster. How about you play the only size you have?
Old Farm, what is that? What do you mean? What is that an excuse for? Like
an excuse for why Seth Curry isn't, for why Will Richard is getting DNP'd, for what the excuse that, oh, we've got all these guards that we need to play. Like why can't we just use some common sense, play bigger lineups, like play the only forwards you have? Because I'm sorry, Jimmy Butler, he's not even a small forward. He's a combo guard in my opinion, or a wing.
He played the three a lot of his career. I don't mind him there.
Yeah.
As a power forward, that is not his position. But I'm careful. Like, who said that? Were they saying that they have mouths to feed as a reference to criticizing Kerr?
It was a Kerr quote that they were referring to, and it was an excuse for why Kerr isn't playing bigger lineups. And I'm so sick and tired, obviously, as everyone else that's conversing with you about these 4 and 3. Dude, I mean, like half of tonight was 4 guard lineups. I was like, are you serious? Draymond goes out. He gets ejected.
Bill Richard was the 4 out there for a lot of those minutes.
I know. That's
It's ridiculous.
And it's neglectful. It's neglectful. And then, dude, this is wild. So in the possession where we need to stop, the most important possession, the one, it's like I'm watching a movie over again in my head. Gillespie gets a 3-up to put the game within 2 again with like seconds on the clock, right? So I think with like maybe 7 point something seconds, it's a 3 off and makes it. Who's on the floor? 4 guards and Jimmy, who I would consider, he's a guard. He's a little bit stronger than Clay, but he's about the same height.
I forgot that there were points in this game where Pat Spencer and Podziemski were on the floor together. Joining them was Brandon Podziemski. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think besides those 3, it was also Steph. I think. And if that's true, that's what do you do? How is that?
Or D'Anthony Melton,
How is this helping Steph, man?
It's not. It's really not. And again, like Kerr immediately, I'm sorry, you played him for 10 minutes and you didn't want to play him tonight, and you're out there playing 4 guards. It's abuse of this. Look, I'm not going to be. Look, I'm going to put my conspiratorial hat on here for a second, because if you got 2 options, either Kerr is completely and laughably inept and just bad, which I tend to think and lean more towards, or he's dirty, man. And it's like, why? What are you doing? You competing for the most clutch games in a NBA season?
I think it's more ego. I think it's more.
I agree. I agree. He named his son Nicholas Kerr, so.
Yeah, it's like the way his brain is rolling is, I believe this is the right way. I'm the one in power, not you. So I'm going to do things the way I want.
Yes.
And that's such an effed up attitude to have when you consider that your actions are affecting millions of other people's emotions. Like he's in such a unique position of power where not only are your decisions affecting the 14, 15 people on the bench, it's also the millions of people who have an emotional investment in your team. And you're just kicking these people around for years now, ignoring the fact that they're all seeing what you probably see as well, but you just refuse to believe. I want to real quickly bring this up, because there's still people out there who foolishly, naively believe. Keel X writes, but you have assistant coaches out there getting paid. So why did they not develop Kuminga and these other players? Look, I don't know how many times this has to be said, but I'll say it again. There is no replication for minutes.
Minutes, yes.
Think about it. Okay, Keel
I know.
X.
I said the same thing tonight.
Before,
I said the same.
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
Let's say you're, and I hope you went to school. You went to college, right? And I'm going to use a college classroom as an example here. Do you think you can learn more effectively just sitting there listening to lectures for hours on end? Or do you think you're going to learn more effectively practicing and doing whatever the discipline is that you're trying to learn? And in the case of Kuminga, or Moody or anybody, send them to the G League. If you don't have plans to play these guys, send them to Santa Cruz so they can at least get experience. That strategy worked with Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole was awful until he got demoted to Santa Cruz and spent about half a season there, or a third of the season, whatever it was. He came back a whole new person and was ready for that title year. Why they did not replicate that is beyond me. But the point again is, no lecture is going to teach you. No lecture is going to develop you. You have to be out there playing. And again, if the minutes were costing you, I kind of understand that rhetoric. All right, so when these guys play, they lose. Okay, fine. Except the numbers don't affirm that. When Kuminga gets 30 minutes or more a night, the team's winning. Net rating is higher. He's putting up over 20 points a game. He shoots 41% from 3. Bad things don't happen when Kuminga plays. But for whatever reason, Steve Kerr has some tick in his mind where the only player he can give heavy minutes to is Podziemski. It's one of the most nonsensical things ever, man.
I would argue, Cy, that any young player that is doing good things right now played significant minutes. Guy Santos, Quinten Post, Jordan Poole, even Brandon Podziemski. Brandon Podziemski played significant minutes with the G League Warriors. Okay, so look, and we're looking at Podziemski's ceiling very likely. Okay, this is Kerr cannot do it. He cannot. He's going to ruin Will Richard. And side note, I saw this today. Cooper Flagg's highlight his numbers for this last game that they played. 23 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, plus 16 plus minus. 40 minutes of play. Okay, the kid is going to be a star because he's on a team where he has to play 30 plus minutes a night. And he's already taking leaps and bounds as a player. And how good would Kuminga be if he had been playing these kinds of minutes from the start, from the get-go? And last thing, can we really trust the decision-making skills of a? I don't know if this is mentioned earlier. I just hopped on and I was just able to get in here. But can we really trust the decision-making skills of a guy who named his son Nicholas Kerr? Come on.
I'm sure it's
maybe
crazy.
once or twice.
Utter lunacy. Like who does that?
You have to be like the least aware person in the world to mess that one up.
I mean, my guess is we've talked about this before. Like my theory is, and I could be wrong on this, but my hypothesis rather is that Nicholas is the name of his mom's dad. That would be my guess because I can't see Steve Kerr's side having anybody named Nicholas. Otherwise, like that joke's running for generations, and you really are lacking an intelligent quotient to be naming your son Nicholas. When you've had previous generations experiencing ridicule for that. So my hypothesis is that it's his mom's dad's name. That's what I would guess. I could be wrong.
Got it.
I don't know. No one's going to ask Steve that because it's such an awkward topic to even bring up. You'd have to be really comfortable in your position of whatever you are in the media or whoever you are in a position to interview Steve Kerr and bring that up. That's my only hypothesis. But even then, I'm sure you're talking about it, like you and the wife. I'm sure you're having discussions about it. What are we going to name our boy? And the wife is like, I want to name him after my dad. Great. Are you not saying it out loud ever?
Right.
Are you not? Are you not even saying it in your head? Just to hear what it sounds like.
Right. Side note, my wife is very particular about names because she goes, okay, here's the full name. Okay, here's the nickname. We're not naming our kid that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it makes no sense.
You got to be pretty aware, you know.
It makes no sense. Like nothing he does makes sense.
Right.
Nothing.
So there you go. Par for the course. Well,
there you go. You're right.
And Cyrus, right. I'm oh man, I'm so torn because part of me wanted us to lose tonight. And not because I want us to fail. Like I want to see the hard work of these guys, especially Will Richard, rewarded. But like, man, like this just is fuel for the fire to keep Kerr in the position. I hope the right people see this. I hope Slater and some of these guys ask him hard questions because, I mean, just the decisions tonight were like all-time bad. Like, why would you? Yeah.
But there's only one opinion that matters ultimately, and that's Joe Lacob's. And
right.
Again,
well, Kuminga.
Can I say something before you go that may sound very controversial, but
not at all. Go ahead.
I'm noticing it, and it doesn't. It seems weird. It seems off. I don't see any people of color at Chase Center.
Yeah.
Like at least in terms of the view that we're getting on our TV screens.
Yeah.
Like Chase Center kind of sucks, man, is what I'm trying to say. Like there's too much of a bougie, like elitist. Like,
dude, I hate to agree with you. I hate to agree with you on this because I really and I'm sorry to bring race.
I am, but
and I'm not one to I'm not one to like go there either. Like that's not my thing. Like, but I've thought of like I would be lying if I didn't say I thought about it once or twice. It's just like it's just very odd. It's just very odd that
I only thought of it because I'm looking at watching the game tonight and I'm thinking, why are fans so complacent? Like, why do people never yell, about the nonsensical bullshit that's going on with this team? And then I started paying attention to all the fans in the first 10 rows or whatever.
Oh gosh, it's disgusting. It's like watching the Hunger Games. It's like watching the Hunger Games. Sorry, it's like watching the Hunger Games. It's like look at all these painted aristocrats. Like can we go back to Oracle, please? Anyway, side note, I'll be at the
Barry, man. I'll say that to the end. As someone who's born and raised here, who grew up seeing what the Bay Area was before tech really got his tentacles and everything, and we used to have a middle class. We grew up here with like options for places to live if we did not make the kind of money we aspired for. Like there were places we could move to. And then tech exploded. Zuckerberg and these assholes moved here and drove up all the real estate prices, brought the biggest D-bags on the planet in terms of a culture and populace. And welcome to, and this is why the Lake wanted to move to San Francisco, because that tech money is not as prevalent for the East Bay in Oakland as it is for San Francisco. San Francisco all the way down to San Jose is now like, the grander Silicon Valley. And anyway, I'm done. Let's not.
Well, Cyrus, I feel your pain because they're moving into Santa Cruz and they're buying up the real estate and crowding all of my surf spots. So, I gotta.
I think Hamza Kassem. No, we're done. Hamza Kassem. I think you say it best. That Chase Center, the building is awesome. Like I love Thrive City.
Beautiful.
I love everything about it except for the. I'll stop there. All right.
Hey,
Hamza
you're
Kassem,
good. Thanks. Thanks, Cy.
Have a great night, man. Have a great night. All right, let's do the scoreboard, and we will start to wrap it up here on a Saturday night. Which again, Warriors victories should be just celebrations, but when you are these Golden State Warriors, and when you still have Steph Curry on your team, and when you're still aspiring for greatness, there are expectations set. And let me put it to you this way. If the Warriors beat the Orlando Magic Monday, I don't care how they do it. I'll be happy. That'll tell me something. I don't feel great about that. Let me see if the line is available yet. I know it wasn't at the start of the show, and that game is not till Monday, but I am fascinated to see. Let me start getting some tunes up now. All right, we're now in the club. Our traditional closer. Our flavor of spice, if you will, our one of a kind, individual who does a phenomenal job helping us promote our online store, available on our YouTube page. And if you use the promo code DAYS at checkout, you get 10% off. How do you spell days? Sure, I'll tell.
Golden Days in reference to the Matthew McConaughey movie Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, so it's not like days like 7 days a week. It's
Golden Days in reference to the Matthew McConaughey movie Dazed and Confused.
There you go. So if you apply that, 10% off your order. It's that simple. And I'm going to check FanDuel one more time to see if the line is out yet for that Monday game, because I am riveted. It is not. How is Orlando doing this year? Let's do a quick check on them before we go through the scoreboard. The Warriors' next opponent, the Orlando Magic, 16-12 on the year. So they're dealing with some injuries. Let me see. So Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner. Let's see what they're dealing with. Jalen Suggs did not play tonight in Utah. We'll go through the scoreboard in just a second. With a hip issue. And then Tristan De Silva did not play either. Okay, so and then Franz Wagner. Oh, so the Warriors will not have to deal with Wagner. Okay, so that'll make life a little easier for him. And also lowers my expectations considerably, because if the Thunder don't have Franz Wagner, should be an easier out, should be an easier win. Franz suffered a high left ankle sprain Monday, and will be is going to be missing as long as a month, and that includes the Monday game against the Warriors. I don't know if Jalen Suggs will be available. And honestly, I think Suggs is actually more important, because Suggs will be defending Steph. So that's undetermined at this point. But the Magic, again, 16-12. Paolo Banchero looks like he's ready to go. If I remember correctly, he did not play in the first outing. So I guess in that regard, you're just swapping out Franz Wagner with Paolo Banchero. You also got Wendell Carter Jr. to deal with. You also got Goga Bitadze to deal with. And that's just the front court. The one guy that just picked apart the Golden State Warriors in that game in Orlando with his size and athleticism was Anthony Black. The Warriors made that guy look like an all-star. Desmond Bane is playing night and day better than what he was doing at the very start of the season. And he's always had good games against the Warriors. Always is not accurate, but he's had a lot of good games against the Warriors. We're also likely going to see some Jett Howard minutes, Jonathan Isaac minutes. He eats up the Warriors a lot. And then Tyus Jones will be getting a heavy minutes if Jalen Suggs does not go. Otherwise, you'll see him as your backup point guard. And then Jace Richardson will get some minutes as well. And Jace is actually having a pretty decent season. Not great, but not bad either. Dude is shooting 45% from deep this year. 45. The Warriors have a guy who can shoot 45% from deep as well, but Steve Kerr won't play him. Although technically tonight he was out because of injury, and I'm referring to Seth Curry. Really in the chat saying that Suggs had a hip issue but played last time. Julian Bashir is saying that Jonathan Isaac is not playing in the rotation at the moment. I do remember him playing, let me bring up the box score, because I do remember him playing the last time the Warriors and the Magic played. Back on November 18th, the Magic won that game 121-113. Jonathan Isaac he only played 7 minutes. Okay, so you went great. Off the bench, Anthony Black played 33 minutes in that game, scored 21 points. Tyus Jones played 15 minutes in that game, had 8 points. Goga Bitadze played 14 minutes in that game. And Jonathan Isaac played 7 minutes. And that's the rotation. But what they didn't have last time was Paolo Banchero. And so they're basically going to be swapping out Banchero for Franz Wagner. Now, another player who played in that first game and who I don't know his availability for the Monday game, and this might be a big one, and that's Tristan da Silva, who is a part of the Magic. And specifically scored 15 points. So his availability, I think, will be worth noting. Jett Howard and Jace Richardson did not play in that previous game. So that's what's to expect from the Orlando Magic come Monday. Riz in the chat saying, would you want Klay Thompson for Podziemski and Buddy Hield? Yes. Yeah, I didn't have to think about that one at all. All right, let's go through the association on a Saturday, December 20th. What happened tonight? Let's go through it together. The Houston Rockets. I saw some highlights of this. Excuse me. Hell of a game. Houston and Denver. And the Rockets come away with the win in the Mile High City, 115-101. The final in that. The Houston Rockets improving to 17-8 on the season. The Denver Nuggets dropping to 20-7. Reed Shepherd, 28 points, 6 assists, 3 steals in the win. Nikola Jokic, 25.7 rebounds in the loss for the Nuggets. The Philadelphia 76ers, 121-114 winners tonight at home over the Dallas Mavericks, a team the Warriors are going to play on Christmas Day. Tyrese Maxey, 38 points in the win. Philly improves to 16 and 11. Anthony Davis, 24 points, 15 rebounds in the loss as Dallas drops to 11 and 18. Dallas currently 3 games back of the Warriors, who leapt ahead of the Memphis Grizzlies tonight, by the way, in the standings. The Warriors are now the 8 seed, Ocho. A half game ahead of Memphis, 1.5 games back of the Phoenix Suns, 2 games back of the Suns in the loss column. So tonight's win was big for a lot of reasons, including the standings. The Boston Celtics, continuing their shocking upstart season, they improved to 17 and 11, taking care of the Toronto Raptors in Toronto, 112-96. Peyton Pritchard, 33 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists in the win. Brandon Ingram, 24.7 assists in the loss. James Wiseman played tonight. Remember him, folks? He was waived by the Indiana Pacers earlier this year, and he got signed to a 10-day contract. And if I read correctly, he actually inherited another player's 10-day contract. I didn't know that was even a thing. So technically it was like a 7-day contract or a 6-day contract. Anyways, Indiana lost, but I bring him up because the Pacers signed him back. And even though he played, I believe, garbage time, not a bad run for James Wiseman, leading his Pacers in net rating with a plus 15. I know that doesn't matter all that much, but Wiseman played 15 minutes, 6 points, 3 boards, again, in just 15 minutes. So good for James. But the Pacers lost that game to the upstart New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah, I said that correctly. The Pelicans now have a 4-game winning streak. They improved to 7 and 22. They beat the Pacers tonight in New Orleans, 128-109. Zion Williamson, 29.7 rebounds in the win. TJ McConnell, 16 points, 8 assists in the loss. Someone in the chat asked me if I do this trade with New Orleans for Herb Jones. I'm not super high on Herb Jones. I like Trey Murphy, yes. Herb Jones, it's like, just wake me up. Wake me up when we're done with that discussion. But that's just me. The Detroit Pistons, 112-86 winners tonight over the Charlotte Hornets. Cade Cunningham, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Yes, folks, that means it's a triple-double for Cade. MVP candidate. Con Knuppel, 19 points, 7 rebounds in the loss. Detroit improving to 22-6. Charlotte dropping to 9-19. Yes, folks, miracles do happen. Case in point, the Washington Wizards not only won a game, they won a road game. They're in Memphis, and they defeated the Grizzlies 130-122. Keyshawn George. So Keyshawn is with the Wizards. Keontae is with Utah. Keyshawn George, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists in the win. Salty Aldama, 37 points, 10 rebounds in the loss for the Memphis Grizzlies, who dropped to 13-15. That's how the Warriors leapfrogged them tonight. The Wizards improving to 5-21. The final in overtime, featuring the Warriors' next opponent, the Orlando Magic, who won 128-127 in Utah. Again, a final in overtime. Desmond Bane, 32 points, 6 rebounds in the win. Keontae George, 27 points, 9 assists in the loss. 2 more. The Portland Trailblazers improving to 12-16. They beat the hapless Sacramento Kings at Golden One Center in the state's capital, 98-93. Denny Avdia, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists in the win. Dennis Schroeder, 21 points, 6 assists in the loss. Again, Portland improving to 12-16. Sacramento dropping to 6-22. Last but not least, some more good news. The LA Clippers defeating the LA Lakers in the Battle of LA. Staples versus Intuit. Or is it Crypto? I'm sorry. Anyways, LA won 103-88. Kawhi Leonard, 32 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals in the win. LeBron James, 36 points in the loss. The Clippers improved to 7-21. The Lakers drop into 19-8. And that's your scoreboard show. Riz mentioning that Luka Doncic did not play in that game. So there you go. Guys, you know he's going to read all this. Chardol, I forgot where Chardol is. He's traveling, I believe. Our closer will be back soon. I think he's going to be back on Monday night. Oh, and Julian Bashir mentioning that, okay. A-Rod is saying he did play Luka Doncic, but he got hurt. And then Julian Bashir is saying, even more good news, that Austin Reeves got injured too. I'm sorry, I don't mean to celebrate injuries. I try not to go low like that. If they're not serious injuries, it's a laugh. If they are serious injuries, please forgive me. Wait, Charles in the chat? No, he's not. You folks pulling my strings. Thank you, everybody. And Shardol, one more time. Give people, explain to people how the days in Golden Days is spelled. If they want to use that, get that 10% discount by using the promo code DAYS at checkout on the Golden Days store.
Golden Days in reference to the Matthew McConaughey movie Dazed and Confused.
There you go. It's that simple. We're back Monday. Thanks, everybody. The music ended early. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. It's still the weekend. Last time I closed the show on a weekend, it was Sunday. I depressed myself forgetting it was Sunday. No depressing news tonight. It's Saturday. And if you're watching this on a Sunday, excuse me, I hope it's early in the day so that you still have a nice respite ahead of you. Or maybe you have the whole week off because Christmas is Thursday, right? Thursday. So regardless, happy holidays from all of us here, and we'll be back soon. Bye-bye.